Hello, I hope all is progressing well. Welcome to I Don't Know, We Can Talk About It, where we discuss myriads of topics civilly, reasonably, and responsibly. My name is Kevin Dufresne. Our first topic is about retiring as a teacher. Though I find the article brings about areas of retirement sound with any profession, because when looking toward retirement, the article mentions areas of importance. As one is retiring, as one is fully in retirement, the article mentions what is helpful to not only the field of which one is retiring from, though assessing how one's life may be beyond employment, how employment is manageable differently on the basis of how one prepares for retirement and how one chooses to be in retirement. I think all the methods, all the strategies, all the suggestions are sound for anyone approaching retirement or in retirement attempting to understand how to approach retirement. I really value preparing one's finances through the journey of employment to ensure retirement is in a situation to be more flexible, if one will, especially considering if any is approaching retirement financially thinking of one's family, if one has a family, and or beyond one's family, if one is thinking with particular financial parameters, connecting family, then adjusting how the budgeting will be in order to save beyond the family. When assessing finances with parameters particular to oneself, particular to one's lifestyle and circumstances, then I find one may navigate retirement financially, whether in retirement or approaching retirement, in a way that will boost one's flexibility financially, allowing one to observe in such a regard, especially considering how one may save in ways, one may invest in ways financially, especially through many available routes that are in connection with one's employment, realistically in connection with one receiving finances, period. So I really think after considering budgeting parameters to reasonable degrees, exacting, then the other portions may be a lot easier to navigate as well. Thinking of starting a business, I think, is a sound idea. I think any of these ideas are sound if resonating with one's life personally. So I find interesting approaching retirement, thinking of retirement at the point of nearing retirement, because I feel as though one has so much of life to attend to that having any of these personal goals come to mind make sense at any point in one's life. I'm thinking of the whole person of a human being, not an individual that subscribes as a role, as a position, though as an individual that has skills, has abilities, that fulfills obligations through one's abilities, one's skills, in order to satisfy what a role or position may require, necessitate. I really find work-life balance to be extremely important, and however one chooses to approach work personally is up to one to decide personally. I'm just thinking of retirement way ahead of time, though through senses of enjoyment of one's life, appreciating what one may do with one's life, and just navigating how one may appreciate one's life. Navigating work-life balance well may really, really make work not feel so much like something one wants to retire from. And I like how the article points out these areas of interest beyond work that are seemingly more accessible because one is able to put in one's efforts, one's energies into a schedule that makes sense for an individual. I think the mentioning of these things, the reality, is in deep connection with how one approaches life, how one approaches work personally. I feel as though, considering the spectrums of being, individuals may really approach life varyingly. So I think the article brings about wonderful things to assess, not only just in connection with retirement, though what one may assess regardless of where one is in one's life, so as to navigate in such a regard to accomplish personal goals that one may have, if accessible, in ways that may show one's life is to attune with the reality beyond work, realities beyond work. Again, however one approaches this information from me, from the article, is up to one personally. One has much control over one's life. I just feel as though retirement is not the only time for one to be thinking of this. Approaching retirement, in retirement, one may really make time to be assessing how one is approaching life, one's life, far before retirement. Our next topic is about how individuals, families may find challenges attempting to be more present due to a potential language barrier. The article does mention ways that individuals connect with families beyond the language barrier, whether that be through a Zoom chat, whether that be through a particular form of messaging that is suitable for a family to comprehend, to be in touch with what a family seems to be wanting to be in touch with. I find any time a situation of language may arise, any question that arises needs the appropriate attention. I feel as though outreach, communication between families, two families, may find a lot of support with Q&As via simple means of communication, preferably in connection with professional lines of communication. If a parent has a list of questions, like the article mentions, how may a family be of more assistance to a child, to a student? I feel as though outreach to families in whichever language may be sound with ensuring that the questions come in first. If the questions are consistent year round, then a compilation of the questions and answers may come about to go through different languages to all families as a notice, if not in a package, ensuring the families have an idea of what is helpful for a student's growth, for a student's well-being in connection with an academic atmosphere, and the opportunity for questions to come in, a polling from parents with different language abilities may prove valuable for offering scaling answers. So a school may have time to answer questions in different languages, then send out a newsletter, send out outreach. So when time comes for one-on-one communication, if necessary, an individual may be able to go to one of the questions that may be similar, if not the same, and share a response appropriately with a parent on the spot, especially if a parent might not have the communicative means, or if a parent does not receive information or check information for whatever reason. Creating somewhat of an index of questions and answers for parents that might have different language abilities also allows for a different sort of access. Having a Q&A portion on a website may prove valuable for parents familiar with technology to a degree, enough to check on a website for any questions that might arise. Now, if the question is about what is personal in connection with the classroom, then I feel as though having the questions come in, even if to a particular educator, then having space for any interpretations through good means will allow for individuals with different language abilities to communicate well together. With such understanding, I feel as though everyone will feel reasonably in connection with what is going on, with learning, with families, with an educational atmosphere, especially if any individual may have a family that is not able to meet a schedule of even just fun activities at a school, fun events at a school in an educational environment. At least the communication is clear about the realities of the situation to a reasonable degree. So a student may still be able to communicate about the event to whoever the student wants to. And a family may be in touch about the event through a newsletter of a sort and understand what the student is going through in a way that is uplifting and encouraging, showing value to the work that a family might be doing to ensure a student is succeeding and thriving in an educational environment. All right, it's time for some origami. I have a square sheet of paper here, and we're just going to fold it point to point. Now, after we go point to point, I have here a clear instruction for this origami chicken we're making. You'll have your cross in the middle, which can help with future folds. So when we fold up here point to point afterward, wherever you decide, you just bring up one side, one corner up to the middle. Okay? You're going to do that on one side only. The same side. Okay? Doesn't have to be perfect. Of course, the alignment, the better it can be, the better it may be for future folds. But it doesn't have to be perfect. Now we're here. Okay? So the portion that's opening with these two flaps is facing away from me now. That's the way you can, according to the instructions, fold so you have it opening even more away from me, away from you. But mine is looking at you right now. So as you can see, I'm just folding it like this, you see? Just folding it like this. Okay, folding it here. So you see, folding it, and I'm bringing it down. Now the next part here is we're gonna get these wings folded in. So what we do next is we're gonna push in here. Okay, so we got the wing here. We're gonna take this down like this. So best way to do it is in here. So you see our little tips here, we have them like this here. We're gonna take it, just gonna bring it down, then we're gonna flatten it. Okay? So you're gonna flatten it so you have your wing. Okay, so we bring it down here. Again, you're just gonna flatten it so you have your wing. And mine is gonna look a little bit interesting here. You gotta flatten it down along the bottom edge. Okay. Then you do the same thing to the other side. Okay. Alright, mine's looking like a hawk right now. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually take this bottom portion now and we're just gonna fold it in. So we're gonna fold the bottom portion now. And the instructions really have a different looking set of wings. I'll tell you that much. They really do. But we're gonna continue on here. My chicken is gonna have a different kind of look. We have to fold the bottom here. So as you can see, the bottom here is really folded in, okay? It's folded in just gonna reverse fold it now so that we can have our stand, if you will. We're gonna make a stand. All right, so then we can open this up a little bit more. Okay. Yeah. So then we'll have it, it'll be able to stand up. Okay. And our next portion here is we have to make the head. So we're gonna take the head. All right. We're just gonna fold it here. Just folding it back and forth again. Just folding it here, folding it here. We're just gonna reverse fold both portions here. Okay. So now we're here, and the next part is, if you have multicolored paper, you can just open it up here. And what we're gonna do is, again, we're gonna have another reverse fold. So we're gonna just fold it in here. And you'll see here, if you don't have multicolored paper, you can just, let's the instructions say, design your own. We're gonna open it a little bit. We're gonna flip it back. Okay. We're gonna flip it back here. Boom, right there. And here we have an origami chicken, and as you can see, the wings here that I have are a bit forward, so we can actually adjust it a little bit here. Okay, so we take it down here, and then have something of a monster that is in a video game called Final Fantasy. It's like a penguin-looking monster. It's kind of what mine is looking like right now. But now it kind of looks more like a chicken. And so with the multiple colors that you are able to add, you can have a chicken with many different features, and it looks way more like a chicken. Okay, well, there's our origami chicken. Ba-ba. Our next topic is about reading a physical book. The book, when it's physical, and a human is reading it, has many benefits. All in connection with science of spatial development. Spatial development is realistically around as long as humans are. So I really encourage reading physical books. The text we're going to discuss today is Flip Thinking is the text that we're going to be discussing today. The idea is how to approach life in a way that allows one to embrace whatever reality is in a more positive, productive light. How to navigate a circumstance to be beneficial, to be enlightening. Practically assessing different parameters the text offers, balances, to ensure one is accurately, mentally approaching a situation while looking toward accomplishing well from a circumstance, from accurately assessing. I appreciate the text. I find value in what the text is offering, because I think the text is assisting one with how to put one's life in as much control as one may have, respecting flexibility of life reasonably, which may prove freeing for any individual having to assess and understand how to progress from any circumstance. Thanks for joining another episode of I Don't Know. We can talk about it. Onward and Upward, Dufresne.